Hello and welcome. My name is Zafar Iqbal, and you are watching the Mojo Story. India has officially responded to the US decision on H-1B visas. Now, India says that those restrictions could cause serious humanitarian consequences by disrupting families and has urged Washington to address these hardships suitably. Now, this response has come after US President Donald Trump announced a drastic hike in H-1B visa fees to 1 lakh dollars, which is about 88,000 Indian rupees. Now, this is effective from September 21. Now, this has sparked panic among Indian tech workers. There is also reports that this surprise move has led to chaos at some airports. Now, this has clearly a lot of consequences. Now, to have a better understanding of the situation, we're in fact joined by an eminent panel today. To discuss this, we're joined by Gaurav Gupta, who's an entrepreneur in India, who was already on an H-1B visa in US for 6 years. And we got Sapan Shah, who's an applicant for H-1B visa currently in America, and Kunal Jain, who was in America for more than 2 decades and has now returned and is an entrepreneur based in India. Let's just begin with you, Sapan. Uh, it it is it's come suddenly in the sense that uh, the announcement was made, but this was building up for some time. How does it impact you as an applicant? Because it involves a lot of money now to get into US on an H-1B visa.
Okay, first of all, I'll tell you about how they charge $100,000 for entering the United States, who is outside right now in the from the US. So basically, students and all the employees who are planning to go to India in their vacations and their free times, uh, they can go now. First of all, they can meet their family. They can't attend their family and friends back in India, or they can't have any attend any marriages, like uh, any sudden death of any family member or anything like that.
No,
Uh,
no. The point that you are making, that if somebody wants to come back, anybody who's on an H-1B visa in America
yeah,
wants to come back, and then perhaps this process comes into play. It does not spare even those who are on H-1B visa
yeah,
already in America.
exactly. They can't like they said that from the midnight today,
Yeah.
anybody who is outside United States, they can't enter United States. So last night I found various emails and messages from our Indian attorney who is working in the H-1B industry. They strictly introduce a guideline to not to go outside, and so it is
Right.
totally panic. Like
Yeah.
even like they announced like in United States like around 3 or 4 o'clock in the noon. So in the on the Friday, companies maybe do a half days. They can't even think what they can do
It was announced in a very tactical manner,
in
just
the
ahead of the weekend.
yeah.
That's what we're trying to say. But what consequences does it impose on a person like you, who has been preparing and trying for this visa for some time now? What are you planning to do now?
Uh, Actually, I do not have any options right now. That what I can do. Uh, there are so many options before after I can get H-1B, but before getting any H-1B, you can't get anything here. Like you can't even uh, involve in any protest because they are also tracking your social media as well. So you can't even protest here. So actually, we all the employees who is right now H-1B employee who is right now on optional professional training,
Hmm.
uh, they can't think like what they should do.
Right. So essentially, you are saying that your dream of an H-1B visa seems to have got scuttled for now. But what about all those people who were on H-1B visa and are back in India now for different reasons? If I can go across to Gaurav. Gaurav, how easy or difficult it was during your time, and how much of a change do you see after today's news come to effect?
Uh, Excellent question. I feel like it was always very complicated and hard to get an H-1B visa because it's a lottery system. So the problem was that when I went over, like my family took like a huge, enormous like amount of education loan, and then I went there and I studied, and then kind of found out that you have to be in a lottery system to get an H-1B visa,
Hmm.
which is very hard to get. A majority of my friends actually came back home because of the same reason, where companies would not sponsor you because they have to pay the government a fee to kind of sponsor us. So it was very hard initially. Luckily, I got the visa, but I feel the problems only start there because now you have to, especially like Indians, because we have a huge wait list for to get a green card. If you go through the official channels of like going through EB3 route, the wait time is to get a green card is more than 20-30 years, and I felt that was such a long time to wait to get something, and you're always stuck in this loop of, hey, if I like if something happens, if some policy changes, if you lose your job, if anything happens, you have like 60 days to find a new job, and then kind of if you do not find a job, then you have to uproot yourself and go back home, which I felt was I don't know, unfair for me, because I've like already spent so much of money educating myself and doing all of that, and then coming back home
Hmm.
without having a job or any kind of experience from work,
So what you're
kind of put
saying,
me in a very
what you're saying, it was always complicated. It was never
yes,
easy, and now it's become
yes,
even more complicated. That's what
absolutely,
you're saying. Kunalji, I want
absolutely.
to come to you. Basically, you lived in US for 20 years. You have seen the change that are taking place. How do you assess the current situation now?
Okay, so when we went there in 2003, see, H-1B filing an H-1B was rare. A lot of companies was filing it, but very few tech companies, giant companies like Infosys, TCS, Wipro, those kind of companies has huge amount of voluminous H-1B visa filed, and they used to get it without much complications. Now, over a period of time, when probably Sopan or Gaurav in last 10 years, of course, it has become little complicated. There was no complication. It's just the more compliance that they started monitoring those applications. They started to checking qualifications and the requirement, whether that person is really needed in United States or not, and that person can replace. They are not replacing a job of an American. They have to have some kind of outstanding qualification, which an average American cannot fulfill. That is the main criteria for filing an H-1B visa. Now, what has been happening is it has been kind of abused over a period of time a lot. And a lot of these companies, whether Infosys and TCS, these companies have filed thousands of H1. So there's a limit of 65,000. You would see 25,000 were filed by Infosys, 20,000 were filed by TCS, and they get 5,000 visas in bulk. So I think what the Trump administration is trying to do right now, they are trying to find ways where they can protect the jobs for Americans first. And then they are trying to find, if it is needed, we would get the people from outside America. Now, as an American perspective, yes, that is absolutely needed. But my question and the problem is, where would you find Americans to do the job which Indians are already doing and performing on
Exactly,
H-1Bs?
exactly. That is
And
the whole
that is
point.
where the main problem is. The problem is
That
not the intention. The problem is they don't have enough manpower in America to do the kind of job which Indian
the,
tech force is doing.
exactly, the consequences will be on both the sides. It cannot be one sided only, because if Indians go there with a skill set, with some knowledge, with some skill, and then they are to be replaced with another set of people. Now those set of people, those people would have that requisite
America don't have it. That is the
okay, so
problem, which they and that is what they're trying to solve. They're saying if we do not stop the H-1B immigration, we would never have American manpower. Now, question is whether they did it right or wrong. See, right now it is just a proclamation. So it says that every company who files an H1, earlier there was very minimum fees like $10,000, $5,000. Now they have to pay $100,000 per year. Now it is not, I'm not sure because I just read the proclamation. It doesn't say it is for one person or it is for 10 applications. It only says $100,000 per year per company. So what if a company files five H1B visas or 10 H1B
right.
visas? I don't know. They probably know.
In fact, Sapan is the one who has been trying for this and who has been working for this. Sapan, how do you clarify these things? These are nitty gritties that have to be explained and understood. Can you
Uh,
hear me, Sapan?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. As of now, I can see that they are saying that $100,000 for each applicants. It is not based on the company. It is on the each applicant. That's what I confirmed with one of the attorney last night. Uh, because my company has almost 60 to 70 Indians uh, in just my office. So I believe, and Kunal was right. Like they can't survive with the without Indian employees, because I see, because I work with Americans, I work with Europeans as well. But the skills and the determination Indians are bringing, the nobody can match it. That is why they introduced this thing. And surprisingly, as a perspective of Americans, they want jobs, but actually they do not have any skills, because the position which I am holding right now, by having a master's degree, the equal American person has only diploma in that. So you can imagine how big is that gap.
These are some points that they must have thought about and considered, because this is a drastic move that has been taken, and it primarily impacts Indians, because 70% of the ones that are in this zone are basically Indians. Gaurav, you would agree to that it is a India specific move.
I would say yes, absolutely. And I've also seen this rhetoric of that we Indians kind of go there. And I know there are some bad actors, 100%. But I think the majority people are actually going there. They get like fair wages. So the thing is that whenever we apply for an H-1B job, we don't get paid less, because even to apply for an H-1B, the company has to file something which is called an LCA, which is labor certificate like application, and prevailing wages. So they compare that I am getting the exact amount which an American is also getting. So they cannot like bluff the system and pay me less to just hire
Right.
me. So
Right.
essentially, I am hired for my caliber as well, not just that I can get the work done in less pay.
Yeah, that's a very significant and very important point. But where do we go from here? Kunalji, you can give some sort of a sense that where do we go from here, because is there any scope of any, because what government of India has said that this will have humanitarian consequences for families. It is not so easy. People who move from their country and go to a different country, be it America or be it any other country, these movements are not so simple and easy.
I think right now, the way I read it, the proclamation is for new H-1B visas. So those who already have a H-1B visa, they don't need to worry about it. They don't need to create a fiasco or chaos at this moment. This is for people who wants to file new H-1 applications. And I think the way I read it, it is per company, not per applicant. It would be huge amount if you call it per applicant. Because if an applicant makes $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year, out of that 100,000 is just a fee to bring that employee here. It is going to be unrealistic. So in my view, I think what this 100,000 is for those companies who are big enough, they are going to give more details coming up soon. Right now, this is just a proclamation which came to Trump's mind, or somebody fed him that this is what is stopping America's growth and American workers are not working enough, or their kids are not probably doing masters or graduation. It's mostly the Indian kids who come here, they do the masters, they pay us three times of the education fee, and of course they need to work here, but they're trying to change that entire narrative. They want Americans to study, do post graduations, graduations, and acquire these high paying jobs. So I think it is going to change. It is just a proclamation right now. People who have existing H-1B applications, they don't need to worry about it. Those who will file or who are in the process, their application process may get impacted because of that. So that is
So
my
you are
thought
optimistic.
process.
You are optimistic that there could be some changes, but uh, I don't know. Maybe Gaurav ji can
Let
come
me
in
tell you the
here.
change. Why?
Yeah,
If you see the tech giants, Microsoft, Facebook, or any tech giant like three, four Silicon Valley's top 10 companies, they all hire H-1B immigrants. So they know that they cannot survive if they would not have these 65,000 people who come every year and take up the jobs to run their
no,
offices.
but
Twitter.
I was hearing somewhere that they have already done those consultations with the companies, and then they have come up with this proposal. I don't know what those
He had
consultations
a
were.
meeting. Trump had a dinner meeting with tech giants, but I don't think so. This was discussed with them. So that's why I'm saying let's wait for another 1 or 2 weeks because this is a very big move. If this happens, these tech giants are going to go after him. I mean, it's not going to be, he's not going to sail through this smooth, I can tell you. Tariff was easy and smooth, but this is not going to be a smooth move.
Right. But Gauraji, for a better understanding, when Kunal says that it is basically, all this applies for the new applicants like Sapan. But what about those who are already there and they want to come and pay visit to India? And then the catch is there that when you go back, you'll have to pay that. Are they in a prison that they are bound now to be in US? They can't come back. If they
No,
come
I
back,
don't.
they'll have to pay. Is that the case? Just for our
I
understanding.
Yes, so I think so. That's what's happening. So Microsoft and like the big tech giants recently kind of sent out emails to their employees who already have an H-1B in the US who got approved, but they came back to India to get like an approval stamp. So because once you get the approval like sheet, you have to come back to India to get the visa stamped. So and once you come back, that is when those are the people who are also in limbo because they've already gotten approved on H-1B and they are in India, and that's why this panic is there that you have to come back before the
Yeah.
21st of
And
September. Otherwise, there's a
that is
yes.
what that advisory from those companies was, that you should quickly go back to US. And there are reports that there is a rush at the airports and the cost of tickets from Delhi to New York have doubled. So all this has repercussions, Sapanji.
Uh, yeah, absolutely. And also, they are imposing 100,000 fee on the renewal of H-1B visas as well. Like, if I get H-1B today, but I have to renew it after 3 years. So at that moment, I also have to pay 100,000. So
So if you pay 100,000 right now, at the time of renewal after 3 years, you'll have to again pay 100,000.
yes,
Is
sir.
that the case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Kunalji has a different point. Kunalji, what's your point?
So it is an employer cost. An employer is paying
Yes, yes,
once a year.
yeah,
This is right now. It's very clear. It's not an employee cost. Employee doesn't need to worry about it.
yeah,
If employer wants that employee, then employer has to pay. It is a fee to the employer. Now
yeah.
again, I don't know if it is per applicant. It cannot be per applicant. It has to apply for the entire company. So if a company is filing 10 applications for H-1B, this is a
Yeah.
one-time fee. It can be yearly or it can be at the time of renewal. I don't know. These things are not clear yet.
Personally, I
And this
think
clarification that it's the employer which will have to do the payment and not the person concerned. If the employer wants to retain that employee, that employer will pay $100,000 after 3 years, if that is the case, right?
I think
Gaurav ji.
this is. I think this is. I and I might be wrong, but the uproar why this is happening is because of its per employee, not per company, because companies already pay more than 100,000 right now, like with lawyer fees and everything. Companies generally pay somewhere around like 4,000 500 or $5,000 to kind of sponsor an H-1B. And the drastic change why there is such a big uproar is that that fee has gone up to 100,000 per employee. So that's why there is this huge commotion happening. But obviously, it's still the employee doesn't have to pay. The employer is the person who is going to pay that 100,000 to bring that one employee over to
Right.
them.
Right. That's an important clarification. But uh, Sapanji, the government of India has in fact responded to that. There are separate things going on. There is a tariff discussion that's going on, 25% tariff that was slapped on India, that another 25 for buying Russian oil, and this is an equally as serious matter. How do you think that government of India should uh, take it up with the US? Already a statement has been put out.
Uh, I think government of India, like, they can like say it as a, we will support you, we will give you this thing, but this is the matter of US. I believe government of India has no role in it. They can support if any employee comes to India by providing them or giving them support for a new job back in India. Otherwise, they like, government of India do not hold any constitutional position in US. So I believe there is nothing with Indian government, but it is all depend on the Congress.
Right. That's true. But Goroji, the fact is that some argue that, let's look at the positive side of it. It will stop brain drain. It will help people who are experts and knowledgeable and have that expertise in their particular fields to stay back in India, perhaps, and to help build the country in the long run.
I definitely think that's going to happen. True. A lot of people are going to be coming back because of this reason. Because I feel like even before this news, I can 100% guarantee that majority people who are on H-1B are living with like this constant anxiety of like what will happen, like what policies will come in place, what will happen to anything if we lose our job. So that's a constant struggle until they get their green card. And I feel like even right now, even if you get your green card, that's not a sure thing because you can still get deported by, like, I think we've been hearing all over the news about people getting deported even if they're on green card and they might have done a misdemeanor maybe years ago, and those people are also getting deported. So I feel it's kind of good for India. A lot of people are coming back. But I think that won't stop a lot of people going abroad. Maybe they'll go to like different countries for education because I feel exposure is really, really good. And then bringing it back, it's very valuable for India.
Right. Kunalji, would you agree to this that it will have an impact in a different way, that people, as he was pointing out, that there is a lot of anxiety. Even if you are on an H-1B visa, you don't know what's going to happen next. So why would some people would say that, why do we want to live in a state of anxiety and uncertainty? Let us perhaps stay back in our country and try and contribute in the building of the country. And that is perhaps slowly but surely in the long run, that is what's going to happen.
So this all started, I think, at the COVID time. After COVID time, the entire immigration process was delayed for months and months, and then years and years. All of these EB1, EB2, EB3 applications has been delayed. Now, I think they are trying to clean up all of that mess and in one shot, and this is probably the shortcut they found. As far as the India is concerned, India has to build up institutions so that our students don't go abroad for education. That is the one thing India needs to do. Our education system, especially college education, master's degree education, it still sucks largely. Very few good institutions. So India has to build our very good educational institutions so that our people do not go abroad. They find good education here. And of course, if they don't have loans to pay, there is no way, there is no reason for them to stay on H-1B visas for years and years just to pay the loans off. The only reason a lot of people they stay on H-1 visa under uncertainty because they have to pay back the loans which they took for their education. If these
Yeah.
two things will happen, automatically Indian, I mean, institution will grow very well. And as far as the jobs are concerned, India would be able to provide much better jobs. Then these people don't need to go abroad.
Yes, if that is the case, then why would people want to go abroad if they get good
They
jobs
won't
where
if
there
they
is?
don't, because right now our education system does not give them a good
Yes,
education.
yes. So, but if that happens and they get those good jobs and good education, they will want to stay back and serve their own country. It is
Exactly.
basically the job satisfaction, and they feel that their potential, they get those opportunities, and their potential is used in a better way there. That's one of the motivations. Goroji, you would agree.
See, right now,
I
what
think
happens if
absolutely.
somebody goes for 3 years to, or 2 years for masters and 3 years for undergraduate, he has close to $200,000 loan on his head by the time he comes out. How he is going to pay back that loan? Unless his parents are rich enough to sponsor it. If they are not, they take the loan and they go, and then the loan interest rates are very high in India. So the same loan an American can get in 2%, but an Indian, if he goes from here, he takes that loan on 11, 12% interest rate.
Right.
So, and
Goroji, yeah,
then he has no
you
other
agree to
choice
that?
to basically, yeah,
Yeah.
stay on H1.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel I was in the exact same boat where, like, my family kind of took an education loan, and that was at 15% at that time. And like students in the US get that for like how
Yeah.
Kunalji said, like 2 to 3%. So there's such a big difference that even after you land a job, you have to land a job, or you have to survive and be there to kind of clear off that loan. Which you took back from India. So I feel in general, it is so important, obviously, to build a lot of institution in India too. But I think more awareness has to be there of what the whole process is about. Like, because when I came on to like an F1 student like visa, the media essentially, or like the environment, portrays that, hey, you're going to like get an amazing education, you're going to get a great job, you're going to earn six figures, and then you'll have live this American dream. But nobody teaches or talks to you about like what all processes and what all hurdles do you have to face in the visa processing, and also like immigrating to that country like on a permanent basis. So it's very, very hard, and I feel there should be more awareness about it.
Right, and the fact that so many Indian professors are there, and that all the debate about brain drain. But Sapanji, we are almost coming to the end of our discussion. What have you thought now? What is going on in your mind? Would you want to pursue it further, or you want to just leave it here?
uh, I'll 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 do my best, and otherwise I'll come back to India. Like I say that if there will be like short-term chaos in India, that so many people are coming to India, like from the tech and high quality skills people come to India, and maybe also there can be job shortages in India. But in the long run, I would definitely agree with uh, both the people that they said that it will definitely help India to make something like what uh, US is making since last 30 to 40 years by the help of Indians, and now they are kicking out Indians. That is the reality. If they do, uh, I think in the long run, India is going to be very uh, like India will do something better than US for sure.
Right. You know, on that note, we'll have to end our discussion. Of course, it is something that will have consequences, and it will have those, you know, uh, it will have those repercussions. But we'll have to see and wait and watch how the things pan out. But thanks to all our guests for joining us today, and thanks to our viewers for watching the Mojo Story. Thanks for joining, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for having us.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.